Hi, ladies. It's Beth from B Style coming to you live on Thursday. I don't know how many weeks in a row I've done this. I committed to 1:30 on Thursdays, and I'm on a roll. So I'm here. And it's a dreary, disgusting day here in the Boston area, but that's okay. We're closer to spring than we are to not spring, right? Or winter. Um, Anyway, I am live. I am talking today about the magic of the fitted blazer or jacket, depending on what you want to call it. Blazer sometimes sounds a little more suitish or buttoned up. Jacket is more of a, casual look, casual term, I think. But anyway, we're talking about that thing that we call a blazer or a jacket. And if you've been following me, you know that I talk about the magic of the fitted jacket. I talk about third pieces all the time. You have your pants or your bottom and your top, and that third piece is what really ties everything together and gives you a look and makes an outfit. Well, if you're looking to look pulled together, even if you're a hot mess everywhere else in your life, put on a jacket, a blazer, and you're going to look more put together, even if you don't feel like it. Okay, so needless to say, if you have a big meeting or an interview or a presentation or any time where you want to just kind of feel a little more confident or, polished, a blazer is the easiest, or maybe not the easiest because they're not easy. It is the most impactful article of clothing you can put on, in my opinion, to up your game and just add polish and togetherness to your look. Okay, but they're not easy. They're not easy to fit. It's not always easy to just buy one off the rack and have it be just right. So I want to talk about some of the key fit points. This is another, just like last week, I have a blog post about this that I'm working on. So I have all my notes for that. And I'm not going to get into all the nitty gritty. You'll be able to get that on the blog post, but I want to hit some of the main points and answer any questions that you might have. First of all, I want to stop and look down and say hello. Debbie's invited me to Florida, where I'm sure it's probably what Debbie, to kill me here. Is it 80 degrees and sunny in Florida? It's not that cold here today. I don't even know. It's probably cold. It's in the 30s, but it is just rainy, snowy, gray. It's disgusting. It's disgusting out. Barbara's here. Alexis is here. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. Blazers. Do you call them blazers or jackets? Let me know in the notes. What do you call it? Let's talk about these things. First of all, the number one thing when you are at a store or you've ordered a jacket online and it's been delivered to your door, as I do, the number one thing when you put it on that you're going to look for, that you're going to start with, are the shoulders. I can't tell you how many times I work with women in their closets and they put on a beautiful blazer, and it's usually that it's too big in the shoulders. And you can tell when a jacket is too big in the shoulders immediately. And she'll say, well, but it fit everywhere else, and I love the color, and it was on sale, so I just got it. And she never wears it because when she puts it on and she looks in the mirror, it just doesn't look right, and maybe she knows the shoulders are too big, or maybe she just looks at it and just thinks it just doesn't look right. Because if you see somebody with shoulders that are too big on their jacket, it just doesn't look right. So when you're buying a new jacket and the shoulders don't fit, pass on it, because it's very expensive to get shoulders, tailored. Chances are you're going to have to tailor a jacket anyway for a lot of people, but the shoulders are not the place to start. So if you put it on and immediately it fits everywhere, but the shoulders are too big, you got to put it back on the rack, send it back. Where do you want it to fit? You want the shoulder seam hit right where your shoulder ends before it starts to slope. Okay, it needs to hit right there. If it's hitting over here, too close to your neck, it's too small. If it's going over your shoulder, if it's hitting here and it's like puckering here, or it's hitting down here, it's too big. That's usually the problem. People are usually buying jackets that are too big. So check the shoulders first. If the shoulders are no good, the jacket is no good. Pass on it. The next thing you're going to do is give yourself, for my whole life, I grew up with my mother. Whenever I try anything on with her in the dressing room, she'd say, do the hug test. And with jackets, it's very important. You want to be able to do the hug test. Now, is it going to be comfortable? I mean, you want it to be not too loose. You want to feel some tension, but you don't want to feel like you're, the Incredible Hulk doing this. You want to be able to hug yourself without, splitting a seam or, constricting yourself too much. That's the second thing you're going to do. If you can't do that, don't buy it. I don't care what designer it is, at the runway at TJ Maxx that you're getting for a song. If it's too small this way, pass on it. It's going to cost too much money to make it right, or you're going to keep it and it's not going to be right and it's going to collect dust. And we don't want either of those scenarios. Okay. So shoulders first, hug test second, sleeves are hard. First of all, let me preface this by saying, if you are a petite, if your upper body is a petite, you might be tall. You might be tall and very short waisted. You might need to go to maybe a larger size, but in a petite. So don't think petites are just for, the 5'3", 5'4", and under gals. Some people who are slightly taller still need petites, especially in jackets, to get them to fit right. But sleeve length is a big one because you want that to be right. And sleeves, I will say, are an easy fix for the most part. If it's a lined jacket, it gets more expensive. If it has details on the sleeves, it gets more expensive. But the sleeves need to be right. If they're too short, that's one thing. If it's a 3/4 length jacket, that's a look, and that gives you some leeway. Because I love the look of pushed up sleeves. I just think that's a great look. Now, if you're, in an office environment, or you're going on a job interview, or you're, an attorney or whatever, you're not going to always want to be pushing up your sleeves. You're going to want to have jackets that hit the right length on your arm. So the rule of thumb there is you want it to hit, pull my sleeve back down, right at the top of when you're standing up with your arms down. Let me see if I can do that. Yeah. You want it to hit at the top of your thumb joint right here. So your wrist is covered. See how my wrist is covered? My hand is not covered. It's not coming like this. My wrist is covered, but my thumb joint is going right to my thumb joint. I can still go like this if I want for that look, or I can be all professional, Beth, and wear it full length. But that's your sleeve length, okay? So when you're buying the jacket and the sleeve length is wrong, look at the sleeve, and if you're a seamstress type person, or you have a friend who is one, find out how involved it's going to be to shorten the sleeves, and decide, does it make sense to buy the jacket if the sleeves are not right? Okay. Next, the chest. Okay. Now, women with large chests, a lot of times they say, Beth, I can't wear jackets because they just don't fit. And it is hard. Because once you get it to fit in the shoulders first, it needs to fit in the chest areas. But there are a couple things to keep in mind there. First of all, a rule of thumb, again, I love rules of thumb, but they are not, the gospel, but they're just good little tips to keep in mind, is the jacket should cover half of your boob on each side. It should hit right. It should be able to cover about half. Now, granted, I am not large chested, to say the least, but that's a rule of thumb. So if you're large chested and it's hitting, way over here, and it's not coming halfway over, then it's too small in the chest. You're gonna, if you're very large chested, a really easy workaround is and it's my favorite look, I don't button my blazers very often, are the open front jackets. Just a looser fitting, but still structured. It still has, defined shoulders, maybe not as stiff as like this. This is called a schoolboy blazer by J. Crew. So this is a very structured blazer. This might not work if you're very large chested, because it's very structured in the shoulders. It's structured everywhere. You might want something, and I'm going to show you. I brought down all my blazers. Every single one of my blazers is right here. And I'm going to show you some ideas, but you might want like a Ponte knit blazer that's got more stretch, more flow, not boxy, not oversized. Just because you have beautiful large breasts, you're not going to buy an oversized boxy blazer, because that's going to defeat the whole purpose. The reason the blazer is the magic third piece is it's giving you shape. It is defining your waist, whether you have one or not. I do not have a waist, and a blazer, if you blazers generally are going to nip in at the waist and create the lines of a waist, even if you don't have one. And if you do have one, if you've got this gorgeous hourglass or pear-shaped body, you want to show that waist. You want to show that waist. Okay, so that's where a blazer is great. So you need to have structure, but if you've got a large chest, you want to also have some leeway in terms of the fabric, and maybe make it with no lapel. You know, if you have a really big lapels and a really big chest, you're just adding to the volume. Double-breasted blazers, if you have a really big chest, you're adding visual weight where you don't want to. You want to skim your curves. You want to follow your curves. Got it? Okay. So chest. Let me make sure I covered all this. So open front, so large chest. You got your open front styles. You've got your more deeper V-necks. You know, so I have a very good friend with a rockin' body and large chests. And she's like, I can never button it. You know, she's got a blazer. If it buttons way up here, it's bursting at the seams to get over the girls. That's not going to be a good idea. She's going to want to do an open front blazer, or one that is got a very deep V and maybe buttons down low and nips in at the waist and creates that hourglass. Okay. Now, if you're like me and you are small chested, then you can go with more maybe a boyfriend style. But don't go too oversized, because then it's just going to look sloppy and baggy. But you know, again, the bottom line, but I could go with a larger lapel, for example. If you are a pear shape where you want to add volume to the top half of your body to balance off your curvy bottom half of your body. And by curvy, I don't mean heavy. Curvy, people say when people use the word curvy, this is just I digress, but people use the word curvy to as like a politically correct way of saying heavy. Curvy does not mean heavy. Curvy means you have a smaller waist, you know, in relation to your hips and shoulders. That's what makes you curvy. Curvy is a good thing, okay? It defines your shape. It is not a polite way of saying heavy. It's not. But if you have a curvy lower body, you want to balance those curves, and you have let's say you have a classic pear shape where you're more narrow on top, wider, curvier on the bottom, narrow waist, curvy. Then you can go with like maybe a larger lapels, details, like the military jackets sometimes have details on the shoulders, where you're going to be adding some visual weight to the top half with your jacket, which will then balance off your bottom half. You're going to want it to define your waist though, okay? Not go all boxy on me, okay? Boxy is rarely good unless you are, you know, a size 2, 6 foot tall runway waddle, or you're just going for that boxy look, which can be fun. And I will say, boxy boyfriend type blazers are going to be everywhere this spring. I do love them because I do have a more boyish figure, so I can wear them. But the key to wearing a longer, more boyfriendy, boxy blazer is these are not the boxy blazers from the 80s that we might have had back in our working days. Those aren't coming back. If you're keeping them in your closet thinking, oh, the larger blazers are back in style, I can dig out my, you know, hunter green shoulder padded double-breasted blazer that I wore to AT&T in 1988 because now it's going to be in style. No, it's not going to be in style. It should be long gone. Get it out of the closet. It's not coming back. But if you like that more boyfriendy style that you'll see now, knock yourself out. It's a great look, but keep your bottoms, your pants more fitted. You're not going to wear a longer boyfriend blazer with, you know, flare or wide leg jeans or wide leg trousers. You're going to wear them with more of a tapered leg, narrow bottom. Okay? Okay. So that was my long explanation for chests. I do love chests though, don't I? Now I'm going to skip to length. I'm going to look and see if anyone has questions. Okay. Debbie's telling me it's sunny and 85 in Florida. That's great. Some of you are probably going to Florida because we have school vacation in Massachusetts next week. I'm not going anywhere. If you're going away, knock yourself out. Think of me. I'll be here holding down the fort. Lengths of your blazer. If you're looking for if you're not looking to have 100 different kind of blazers, you just want that 1 or 2 perfect blazer, which is kind of what I recommend for most people. You want it to be the most classic, flattering style that works with the most bodies and works with the most styles is one that's going to hit in the magic hip bone zone. I'm going to stand up again. This one actually hits in my hip bone zone. My hip bone is right here. Okay. So this jacket hits in that zone. It is, you know, within an inch or two of my hip bone. Could I go longer? I could. I have a longer one I can show you. I could go shorter too, but right around that hip bone zone is a good rule of thumb. Keeping in mind the other golden rule, another golden rule is you don't want a horizontal line going across the widest part of your body. So that's why you want to look at the length and decide, you know, am I going to go above the widest, slightly above the widest point of my hips, or below, but not right at it. Okay. Chances are you're going to go a little bit above. But that hip bone zone in a classic blazer is going to be your best bet. Now I am wearing, as you can see, a tucked in, this is a sweater. I was wearing a white t-shirt earlier, but I'm wearing a tucked in top with a belt. Because for me, I'm a rectangle. I'm trying to maybe create more of a waist where I don't have one. If you are not a tucker, maybe you are short-waisted and you don't tuck in your shirts, you can wear a hip bone length jacket. I don't know if it'll work with this sweater, but let's say I'm wearing a blouse. It might work with the sweater. And you're just going to untuck and get that high-low look that will elongate a short waist without overwhelming it, without making everything too long, okay? Because you're going to get that high-low effect of the shorter jacket, slightly longer top. You're not going to go with if you're short waist, you're not going to go with like a tunic, you know, and then a shorter jacket. You want there just to be a couple inches between the hem of the jacket and the top underneath it. You don't want there to be like this much, you know, a really short jacket and a really long top. It's all about proportions. Take a picture if you have a question, post it in the Facebook group, or just take a picture and look at it and say, yeah, that your eye is going to tell if the proportions are wrong. Trust me, the selfie does not lie. But hip bone zone, layering, we just talked about. Hip bones, okay. I think that's it for length. Is there anything else? We talked about the boyfriend blazer with more fitted bottoms. Okay, now I'm going to give you a little rundown of my blazers. Again, this is an example of a very structured J. Crew boyfriend blazer. My favorite that you hear me talk about all the time, which going back to my talk about the larger chested women, this is a less structured blazer, but still gives you the polish of a blazer, is a Ponte knit blazer. This is, oops, there we are, we're back. This is the peach Ponte knit blazer. See how it does not have a lapel. It does not have buttons. It has a hook and eye closure, so it has an optional closure. I never use the closure. I just wear it open. It does not have shoulder pads. It does not have structured shoulders. So it's very comfortable and it's very polished. I have an attorney friend who wears this to court. I wear it. I would wear it today. I'd probably wear it with what I'm wearing now, more so than this necessarily because it's more comfortable, with jeans and a t-shirt. You could wear it over a dress. You could wear it all year round, summer, winter, fall, because it's a Ponte knit. You can take it on the plane and travel with it. It rolls up into a little ball and it doesn't wrinkle. And it's just good. It's just good. I also have it, for those of you who want to get a little funky, I have it in this yesterday. You can see the leopard. It's very subtle. It's actually more subtle than I'm showing. I've got a bright light shining on it. It's also a peach. It's the same exact blazer with a slight leopard pattern, kind of a bronze leopard pattern, which, you know, it's just fun. So that's an example of an unstructured, lapel-less, buttonless blazer that, you know, Ponte, if you're looking for, whether it's the peach one, if a Ponte knit blazer is my favorite. Oh, because that's pretty much what I have. I have this, another black one. This is a moto. I would still call this a blazer. It is a moto jacket. You might have one in leather or suede. This is actually, I guess this is a Ponte knit as well. I got this at TJ Maxx at the runway. This is a Helmut Lang that I just love. But this is, this just gives you a little more of a hip, less conservative, whatever look, more casual. But you could still wear this to the office, a jacket like this. So don't forget when I'm talking about, that's why I call them jackets. Don't forget about your motos and your, leather jackets, things like that. All these fit issues apply with those type of jackets as well. Here's another Ponte tight knit. This isn't Ponte, but this almost, what's it made? That's like a cotton blend or something. This is still available. This is a favorite. This comes in white, which I love too. It's also in a pale blush. I've showed everyone this before. Another great jacket that is great if you're busty, because it doesn't have lapel. It's nice and flexible. It's just going to flow. I never button it, but I could. That's another one. Speaking of buttoning, here's a little rule of thumb. Sometimes you might have a jacket that fits everywhere, fits in the shoulders. So you check that box. It hits your chest just right. Check that, it's going right halfway down each breast. Check that box right. It's fitting in your torso. It's, creating that image or illusion of a waist, whether it's there or not. Check that box. But let's say you can't button it. Let's say it's too tight to button. Some people would say if you can't button it comfortably, then it's got to go. And I guess in reality, it really should be able to be buttoned comfortably. But if it fits everywhere else and you just can't button it, and you're never going to button it anyway because it's just not the way you wear it, then I say it's okay. Mary upstairs would say no, it's not okay. And that's up to you. I'm not a real stickler for those kind of things. I'm a stickler for shoulders, chest, and waist. But if it's just a little too tight to button, but it's perfect everywhere else, I give you a pass. That's just a little aside. But here's another example. Here's a white one. This is kind of old. A white blazer with no button and no lapel. You can see how this would just flow over your curves. And it has this great diagonal line here, something else to look for when you're talking figure flattering with your jacket. See how the cut of the hem is not straight across, so you're not creating that horizontal line across your widest part. It's on a diagonal, which is always, always more flattering. This brand is Black Label, black with a Q-U-E, old, but a white blazer. A black blazer is my first choice, black and or navy. I think white's my second choice. And Nancy wrote in a question saying that she got a new white blazer, probably because I told her to, maybe, because I do love white blazers. And she was like, what I want to wear it in the winter, what can I wear it with? So I'll answer that question now. I love a white blazer with a black, with black, even a column of black, a black dress, or black blouse, black pants, and a white blazer and black heels, or leopard shoes with the white blazer would be fabulous. Really, you could wear it. You could wear it as long as the heft of the material is wintry. You could wear it however you want. Really, you wear it with jeans and a t-shirt, and then the white blazer and a pair of booties. Neutral booties. I wouldn't wear black booties. I'd wear like tan or brown booties with a t-shirt, jeans, and the white blazer and a cool gold necklace. And as long as I'm guessing the one that Nancy has is probably this one that's in a substantial knit. That's great because it's seasonless. I could wear this maybe not in the dead of summer, but definitely in the spring and fall. This brand, I will try to find it, is Olivia Moon. That's a great, and I think it comes in black and navy. It might even come in gray. So if you are in the market for a blazer, this is probably my pick next to the peach one. This one and the peach one are my two favorites. The peach one is just a little more comfortable. This feels more like a blazer. The peach one is so comfortable. It feels like you're putting on just like a sweater or a sweatshirt, even like a hoodie. It's so comfortable and completely unrestricting. Okay, here's another example of a moto jacket. And last but not least, I have two longer styles. These are every single one of my jackets. I'm not lying. These are all of them, which is a lot, but it's not a ton considering this is what I do. This is the one that a lot of you have seen. It's from Target this fall. And that brings up another point. I usually say jackets are something you're not going to want to chintz on, because a cheaply made jacket just falls flat. It defeats the whole purpose of a jacket. This caught my eye in the store. I never would have ordered it online. I'd say, I'm not buying a blazer from Target. But I was in the store and it caught my eye, and I looked at it and I was like, it is fully lined. It has beautiful seaming in the shoulders. It's a great classic plaid, and it was Target price. I don't know the price, but it was well under $50. And I love it. I just wore it this week. I'm sure it's long gone, but some of you have it. Another great, but this is a slightly longer example. So wearing this, I would wear it when I wore it this week. I wore it with skinny jeans, I believe, or just definitely a more tailored, tighter fitting, slimmer fitting bottom, not a voluminous bottom, because it is longer. Okay. And then I have one last one, another long jacket example that I got a while ago, which would be great for a working person, a traveling person, if you wanted a longer jacket. This is by Boston Proper, believe it or not. I got it on Amazon, and it is just a longer but narrow basic blazer. It's like I don't know the material. It's not wool. It's some sort of synthetic fabric, but it travels well. It won't wrinkle. And it's a longer style. I can't tell you that, but I'll find a link for it if you're in the market for a longer black blazer. But if you're only buying one, go for the hip bone zone. I recommend a Ponte knit, and you'll be good to go. So that is my speech about blazers. Does anyone have any questions? That's a lot of talking I just did. Yak, 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 yak. I'd love it if somebody asked me a question so I could stop giving my spiel. But if you don't have questions, I'm not putting anyone on the spot. That's for darn sure. So I am just going to tell you that I'm going to finish up this blog post. You'll know where to find it. I'll post it. It'll go out in my weekly newsletter on Sunday as well. And in the meantime, any questions, post them below. Join me over in my free Facebook group, which is the best place to ask questions, because we have lots of great experts over there with lots of advice and lots of different body types. So if you have a body type question, that's a great place to go. I will link to it. It's the Be Styled #JustGetDressedVIPs. Head over there. It's a free group, and it is the best place on the internet. These women are the real deal. And right now we're doing our shopping detox, so we're not buying anything. So don't feel like you're going to go over there and it's going to be all these links of things to buy, because that's not what we're all about. We're shopping our closets and we're wearing what we own, but we're wearing it well. That's the idea. So ladies, go just get dressed and have a great rest of your week and weekend. And I will be back next Thursday at 1:30. Bye.